Wow.
Buff Nation.
Let's go!
Wow, Ryan is going to have a tough act to follow.
That guy doesn't, like, when it comes to shouting, let's go,
Or
I'm probably, like, in the top 1 percentile globally, Jake.
shouting bang during March Madness.
Oh, my God. That, it's like, it's me and Mike Breen. It's like there's 2 in the world who can do it.
You were on a hot streak back then.
Yeah, no, when it comes to yelling, I'm obnoxiously good, sadly. Sadly for my loved ones and friends. But today, for once in my life, an appropriate time to actually yell something.
1,000% appropriate.
Amazing.
We are coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge,
Don't get it
driven by your
twisted.
front range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. This DNVR Buffs Primetime presented by Illegal Pete's. How you doing on this Friday, Dre?
Okay, man. I'm doing okay. Life, you know?
Life, man.
Yeah, it comes
Sheesh.
at you in so many ways.
Crazy.
People need you. You're busy. You're hungry. Your new favorite tennis player loses a big match that you woke up at 6:30 for. Roller coaster. Roller coaster. Little one woke me up at 5, got in bed, snuggled her up. You know, lots going on. Lots going on.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you? How are you doing?
Can't complain, man. It's Friday.
Good. I love that for you. I love
Hyped.
that.
We are in full off-season mode, though.
Yeah.
But we do have some stuff to talk about today.
Oof.
We
Praise
will-
be.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, I want to give a round of applause to everyone in the country. Round of applause.
Good job, guys. You did it.
We did not have
Congratulations.
a coach or a player or anyone write a hit piece this week.
Oh my God.
We've made progress.
That's amazing.
We've gone a full week.
Update the board. We've gone 1 week since a hit piece was written about the Colorado football program.
Yeah.
That's big time. Maybe the stash, man. The stash
It might be the
changing.
stash. You never know.
I think people are like intimidated. They see you now.
Really?
I think they're less likely to F with the Buffs now because of
Wow.
your stash. You're
So
like
if
the
I
new
just-
enforcer. Yeah. Yeah. You look so punk rock with that stash.
Do I
I
really?
love it, man.
Thank
and
you,
the
man.
DNVR hat. It's a really good combo.
Yeah, I need a haircut. I've
You're
said
up
that
in your
like
look
this entire week.
Yeah,
so.
hey man. If we all got haircuts the moment we needed them, we'd all be
I mean,
okay,
what are
you
weekends
know?
for, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay. We do have stuff to talk about today. We got to do a recruiting update. We had the 9th through 12th grade camp at Colorado yesterday. A few standouts, a few familiar names that we'll talk about. A couple top 10s. We've got some quotes from Steve Wiltfong, who talked to Jaden O'Neal, the 2026 4-star quarterback, who is still on campus, actually. I think he leaves later this weekend to go to somewhere else, FSU or something like that. We'll talk breakout candidates.
Let's go.
We'll do a draft of breakout candidates.
I'm ready for this. I've been waiting my whole life for this moment.
I can't believe it, Dre. We finally made it to
I'm
this.
so trained up on this shit.
So ready.
Yeah, indeed.
But we start today with 247 Sports, who did a biggest winners and losers in the 2024 transfer portal.
Way to go, guys.
Way to go, indeed.
Great rankings.
Are
So,
they, though?
I don't know. Nope, just did a show with Henry. Jake have we really gone a week without a hit piece, or is this our hit piece?
What if I told you, can you guess for me the number 1 team on this list?
Colorado.
In terms of net rating gain.
Well, considering, gosh, how many ready-made players and highly rated former recruits, and I mean, geez, with just Will Shepherd and, you know, LaJohntay Wester and Preston Hodge, and I mean, gosh, all these quality offensive linemen, Dylan Hayes, and it has to be Colorado, I'd imagine.
It's not Colorado.
Really?
They have the BYU Cougars
Oh, no.
with their 16 departures and 9 newcomers as the biggest winner in the transfer portal this year for the Big 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the Buffs slotted in at number 2 because, after all, Samuel Okunlola, Nwankwo, gosh, they brought in so much talent. BJ Green.
Yep.
I just can't imagine that they were any lower than that.
They are not number 2. That is the Utah Utes,
Really?
who have brought in 12 new players via the transfer portal.
Okay, how many did they lose?
24, but they have a net
Jeez.
gain of 2.57 apparently. Of course,
Okay,
right?
Okay. Interesting.
But number 3, do you think we made number 3?
I mean, come on. If the Buffs aren't in the top 3 with all the guys I just listed, that would be surprising, wouldn't it?
They're not in the top 3.
No, how could it be?
Number 3 is Kansas.
Oh my gosh.
Again, who lost 13 players and gained 10.
Interesting. This is interesting. Okay.
Spoiler alert, they're not number 4.
no.
They're not number 4 either.
Oh no.
Cincinnati, who actually did utilize the transfer portal pretty heavily. 33 departures, 25 newcomers. But a net rating gain of 1.61 is still better than the Buffs.
Wow, my goodness.
Yeah.
Who's so highly rated for the Buffs that they lost?
We can get to this.
Okay.
Because when you go through the Buffs' little blurb,
Yeah.
it's like 9 players they gained, and then they mentioned 2 players they lost. And you could probably guess which 2 those were.
Yep.
Number 5 was Kansas State.
Okay. Well, they only lost Will Howard. How could you not rank him in the top 5?
And only gained 10 newcomers. That makes them number 5.
Well, when you lose your starting quarterback, you have to be a top 5
Right,
team.
right.
What a gain that is.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 6, not Colorado.
Oh, come on.
Not Colorado, no. West Virginia. With 25 departures and 13 newcomers, they have a net rating gain of 1.37.
Okay. Buffs have to be 7.
We made it at 7, baby.
All right, let's go.
We made it at
we are
7.
number 7, yes.
So, yeah. A net gaining of 1.29. The blurb, it starts off, first of all, the overhaul at Colorado continued this offseason with a revolving door of stars. We lost all our stars.
Huh.
They all hit the revolving door.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Like our starting quarterback, like Kansas State?
No, we actually didn't lose the starting quarterback.
I could have sworn.
Didn't lose the best player either.
Right.
Didn't lose the defensive best player in Shiloh. Didn't lose, guys like Jimmy Horn or Amari Miller. But we lost the revolving door of stars.
Funny. Yeah.
Crazy.
Huh.
They mentioned players like Sam Okunlola,
Right.
Dayon
right.
Hayes,
Productive college players. I should hope so, yes.
Rayon Buell, who was all MAC last year for Ohio. A lot of hype around him right now.
Yes, I'm embarrassed I didn't mention him.
Quincy Wiggins, the top recruit out of Louisiana a couple years ago, former LSU Tiger.
Yeah, I'll say Quincy Wiggins, pretty big deal.
Yeah. They mentioned Will Shepard, Vanderbilt's leading receiver the last 2 seasons.
Gosh, he blew up the SEC for 2 years. I'd expect that to deserve a mention.
They mentioned your boy, Isaiah Augustave.
Even August. So they know what they're doing. They wrote this recently.
Well, I mean, yeah. They did mention LaJohntay Wester as well.
Great get.
And I'll tell you guys who wrote it. But the last paragraph of the Buffs blurb here.
Yeah.
And this is crazy with their 7th ranking because the first sentence literally says only 29.3% of the departures landed at power programs.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Wow.
The most notable exit was, of course, Cormani McLean.
Yeah.
He returned home to Florida, and then they mentioned Dylan Edwards, who left to Kansas State. But we have a revolving door of stars leaving.
Quite the narrative. It's incredible stuff. But I guess Dylan Edwards going to K-State probably helped their ranking quite a bit. That probably nullifies the loss of Will Howard, I'm sure.
I guess so.
Yeah.
This is courtesy of Brandon Marcel at 247 Sports.
Legend. Shout out, Brandon. Have a great weekend, okay?
So, yeah, we are Colorado's just in the top half of most transfer portal gains, I guess. Crazy.
Some wacky math, but it does sound like those rankings are pretty obsessed with star rankings. And what I
Yes.
think, I think one of the really sound things I have picked up on that Coach Prime and his staff are doing in recruiting, especially the transfer portal and existing current college football players, they are not super concerned with star ratings. Though, of course, Quincy Wiggins, there are some guys who, you know, highly rated and you're picking them up, counting on things didn't quite work out at LSU and a bounce back. But, you know, all these like insanely productive seasoned college veterans, I just don't think get the proper, not even evaluation, but like properly accounted for in those kinds of ratings that are done by recruiting services, you know, who that's their bread and butter is that high school recruiting.
It is, but as you mentioned, they did add a lot of young talent. Former 4 stars, former top 300 recruits, guys like Cordell
certainly.
Russell. Didn't even play last year for TCU. It was a 4-star and somehow gets downgraded to a 3-star because he entered the portal. Same with Zechariah Owens, former Clemson offensive lineman. I mean, we can name like 4 of these guys. Peyton Kirkland, like there's a lot of them.
Right. Yeah. And no mention of Dallin Hayden, running back from Ohio State.
Who was also a top 300 recruit.
Correct.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Also, well, we'll let that go. It's crazy.
We're done. Brian, have a great weekend. We're done, okay?
Brandon.
No more. Brandon, shit. Sorry, my bad. My bad, Brandon.
But we are going into this revenue sharing era next year, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, is it?
Oh, no.
Is
oh,
it?
No. Oh, no, Jake.
Because now the NCAA has approved corporate logos on the field. Not just like, you know, a little 25-yard line mini logo. They're letting teams use midfield, the 50-yard line, for corporate logos. How do you feel about this? Instant reaction.
So, as in addition to like the team logo or instead of? Because I kind of think that's a key point here.
I'm assuming instead of. This is from Heather Dinich at ESPN. She wrote it up.
Legend.
It says the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel approved the recommendation from the Football Rules Committee that allows for corporate advertisements to be placed in 3 spots on the field, a single advertisement centered on the 50-yard line, and 2 smaller flanking advertisements elsewhere on the field. Can be done by a game-by-game basis or for the entire season. This is another fallout from one of the House versus NCAA settlements. Because now the NCAA has $2.7 billion in back damages that they have to pay. And so
Such a shame.
they've got to generate that money from somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
How would they be getting that money? How's that not going to the school or conference? I just like, can we cut them out completely?
The NCAA?
Yeah, we don't need them.
If all was right in the world, I'm sure that would be one of the first things to change.
Move them to like D2 and D3 only. Well, my crazy thoughts are neither here nor there. Yeah, it's going to be a bummer. It's not going to be a great look. We'll get used to it like most things. And, you know, before you know it, it'll just feel like similar to a bowl aesthetic. Maybe we all need to go colored fields, you know? Boise, Eastern Washington style.
No, God, no.
Yeah.
No,
No, huh?
absolutely not. This is gross, though. I don't like this.
Well, now the other thing is when that revenue is just going to the NCAA, yeah, no, I have zero interest in supporting that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it'd be cool if the Buffs got like Gatorade and that's on the field, just bolsters their NIL profile, their ability to generate revenue, all this stuff. But how do we not have the Ralphie CU logo on midfield?
Yeah, that's a bit of a miss.
Like you watch an Alabama game or a Georgia game, you want to see the G or the script A on the field.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
you don't want to see random dude's mutual fund of blah blah blah.
Right. How would Jay Feely stomp on the O? If that's just a illegal Pete's banner now.
Jay Feely. Do you mean Baker Mayfield?
Who's their kicker? Who's the son of Jay Feely?
Jace Feely.
Jace Feely. Okay. Sorry.
I thought you'd make like a Baker Mayfield reference, planting the flag on the...
Planting the flag, he grabbed his nuts. I mean, Baker had some good ones. Baker had some good ones, no doubt. Yeah.
A Coors Light logo on the field, though.
That'd be dope. But yeah, like this logo right here. That's just right.
It is just
That's
right.
just right. Michigan M at the middle of the field for Michigan. Just right.
Yep. Not I mean, I'd be okay with illegal Pete's midfield,
Be kind of sick.
Big time spot for illegal Pete's.
Honestly, that'd kind of be sick. Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unfortunate to see what's happening to our wonderful game.
Yeah.
So while we watch a 3.5-hour game that is an hour and a half of ads, we are going to have logos all over the field now too, and probably on the jerseys.
Yeah.
Welcome to college football in 2025.
Yeah, there'll be sponsored athletes as well.
Well,
that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Just how it is. And after that, time for a commercial break.
It's a shame.
We're all part of the same deal here, Jake. I hate to break it to you, buddy. But look, we all need this stuff to go around. It's kind of the deal. Oh, boy, what a Friday show. Not even Arcade on the golf course could replicate these Friday vibes right here,
How do you think
Jake.
his mustache is doing right now?
Bro, I don't know. I'd never seen him less confident than he was stashed up.
I thought we would get an update on it. We didn't even get that.
No. He's just getting this weekend done and going back to his bearded glory. I'm sure he's growing out the rest of the beard as we speak.
Oh, man. Thoughts and prayers.
Indeed. Yeah, and leave us a like, as the chat is telling us.
Leave us a like if you're watching on Twitter. Join the chat on YouTube. Shout out to our friends over at Vestibule. A lot of investing talk these days.
Right, yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. But sports fans can get on the action too. Download the new app Vestibule, and you can invest in an athlete's career, get paid a portion of the athlete's income throughout it for doing so. The first athlete they're launching with is Denver Broncos outside linebacker Baron Browning. Speaking of the Broncos, how about the Broncos guys yesterday? What a dub.
Incredible.
What a dub.
Yeah, that was an all-timer. We were celebrating upstairs as that was all going down. That was an all-time moment for us.
Great day.
Yeah.
But you can cash in with Baron also. He's in a contract year. He's out of a lot of ups and downs in his career, but he's a guy who's very talented and could break the bank this next offseason.
Yeah.
So get in now. His IPO is live. Shares are available for purchase, but they are limited. Go download the Vestibule app now and invest. And then our wonderful friends at Toyota.
Oh, yeah. This is the kind of weekend you just get in your Toyota, drive west, just get lost in the mountains.
Yep.
RAV4 it up.
Yep. Forerunner it up.
Oh. Just get lost time.
We're going to talk about breakout players in this next segment.
Yeah.
Toyota's not a breakout. They are established. Strong brand.
They are. Yeah, they're a Shiloh Sanders of sorts. A Will Howard, if you would, another Big 12 team. Yeah.
Well, he's at Ohio State now.
Oh, jeez, my bad. Yeah, not Toyota. Right, different kind of car then.
But Toyotas are the best. They're reliable. They last forever, and they get you where you need to go, even if it's in the mountains out here or wherever your summer's taking you. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you, AutoNation Toyota in Arapahoe. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
Nicely done.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Breakout players.
Yes. So many candidates, Jake.
There are a lot of candidates. So we had a
few
conversation.
who may not be candidates. Let's state the ground rules.
Yes, ground rules. Obviously, Travis, Shador, Shiloh.
Right.
Just, we're not counting them.
Right. The kind of guys who would have transferred out of every other Big 12 school, we are not counting. They are very much established. Will Shepherd, established.
Yes, guys like Will Shepherd, Chidozie Nwankwo. I'd be willing to hear an argument, but it's most likely a no. Like LeJontay Wester, like already 1,000-yard first-team receiver. You know what I mean? Like
Preston Hodge, it sounded like was more where rubber met the road for you.
So
you can make an argument that Preston Hodge, you are predicting a breakout in a Power 5 setting.
Yes, because he was great in the G5 last year, and we know what he can do.
But I think that breakout prediction means a lot. Like, that breakout standard is held to a much higher standard than, like, Dylan Edwards, you could argue, broke out last year, right?
Yes.
If someone like Hodge just did that, not enough. Breaking out means, like, first team all Big 12.
Yes, so if you're going to pick an older player, that's kind of where your mind has to be. They're either going to work themselves into, like, a top 100 draft grade, or they're going to be in the all Big 12 conversation.
Yeah.
Younger players are a little different. Like Omari Miller, which is different because I'm sure he's going to be on this list, and he is a true breakout candidate. But he did kind of have that freshman breakout, you know what I mean? So if you want to pick a guy like Cam Michael or Draylon Miller, I wouldn't be upset with that, but there's they can have the one game and find themselves on the map. But is that truly a breakout? You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense, chat? All right, cool. So let's start the draft.
Tough draft to make your first pick in.
It is. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll let you set the tone and go first.
Okay.
Typically, I'm the honored guest. I get first pick. This one, why don't you put us on the... Set the standard here.
Okay.
Let's make the main thing the main thing.
Lots of choices.
Indeed.
A lot of them.
Yes. Yes, so many breakout candidates. I mean, like 65% of the roster is potential breakout candidates. For sure. You'll allow O-line?
So,
it's the toughest to quantify, right? So that's why I asked. Obviously, I know ball, so...
What do we say? Like an O-lineman who starts like 4 games or more, especially if they're a young guy like Zechariah Owens or something like that?
I mean, honestly, I think every player has a bit of a slightly different breakout standard.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, O-line counts. Okay, come on. Give us that first pick.
First
no
pick.
More stalling.
I am going to go with Jimmy Horn Jr.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What does a Jimmy breakout look like?
A Jimmy breakout
Certainly
looks
had
like...
his moments last season.
I want to say 1,000 yards, but there's so many mouths to feed. Let's say he led the team in touchdowns last year. I want to say double-digit touchdowns and...
You could go all-purpose. 1,000 all-purpose feels pretty legit.
1,000 all-purpose. We've talked about potentially him expanding his role into being,
Oh, yeah.
what Dylan was, if we can see him more out of the backfield, more around the line of scrimmage. Yep. Maybe something like, 75 to 80 total touches. Mm-hmm. Or not even just receptions, rushing attempts in there. But, 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Let's say he improves on that touchdown total, 8 touchdowns. And we're talking about Jimmy Horn Jr. as a top 100 draft prospect, and we're saying watch out for him when he goes to the NFL Combine this next year.
Wow. Okay. See, that's a tone setter. That's a good first pick. You set the tone. You set the standard. I like this. I like this a lot. Give me Quincy Wiggins. Give me Quincy Wiggins. Yeah, no, I mean, just the talent this young man was flashing as a phenom prep star in Louisiana. What does breakout mean for Quincy? It means by midway through the season, he's established himself as one of the regular starters on that defensive front.
Okay.
It means he's having impact on third down, and he finishes the season with over 5.5 tackles for a loss.
I absolutely love that. Great pick.
Thank you, sir.
I feel like if RK was in that seat, he would have picked Sam Okunlola, but I think you could argue he kind of broke out last year a bit.
Honestly, man, I think the standard's kind of nuts for an Okunlola breakout, right? Like, what was he at?
Because he had
8 sacks last year?
I think it was only like 5 or 6, but...
Okay, maybe I'm thinking more TFLs.
Okay, so here we go. It was his second year, redshirt freshman season, 6 TFLs, 5 sacks, 18 total tackles. So a true breakout for him would literally be like first team all Big 12. It'd be like 12.5 sacks, 16 TFLs, and 50 total tackles with like 2 forced fumbles at least in there. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I mean, it'd be a nutty. I mean, you'd be competing for the butt kiss.
Yes.
Which, hey, I mean, if that's your pick, you know, I'm not again, but like that's your breakout for sure.
You got another pick here.
Okay, alternating not snake. I like it. Let me take Carter Stoutmeyer.
Changing positions. Started as a true freshman last year.
Yep,
like
exactly. I just think as far as like pure cover ability, I think he's one of your 4 best DBs with McKinney, Hunter, Hodge. And he showed some really nice flashes. You showed those flashes as a freshman. I think you could really raise his game as a true sophomore. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just think more comfortability, playing some easier talent on offense in the Big 12 versus the Pac-12 last year. Yeah, I think Carter Stoutmeyer is going to break out and become another guy who will establish himself as a set and forget defensive starter by midway through the season. Mm-hmm. And will be a key factor for that secondary and have multiple interceptions.
I like it. Carter gets a lot of hate for how he played last year with a torn labrum. But again, I think if you proved yourself as a true freshman last year, we're literally just getting started.
Totally, man.
Number 2, I'm going to go with Anquin Barnes.
Ooh.
The former Alabama defensive lineman. Big boy. 6'4", 315 is what he's listed at.
Yeah.
Did not play at Alabama. So there's a wide range that he could do this year. But I think he could emerge as a starter. And I think he could be a very impressive player. Been running 20 miles an hour at practices right now. You talk about an athlete at the defensive line position and a guy who it's all right there in front of him. He could truly break out and just become a dominant force, live up to that Alabama and that recruiting hype that he had a few seasons ago.
Wow. That's a good one. That's an interesting one.
I do have another pick.
You do. Thank you for saying that. I was about to spit out a name, and I am glad I didn't.
I'm going to go with DJ McKinney.
See, I would argue that would have been who Ryan would have took like first overall.
Yeah. There's really not much else to say about DJ McKinney. Coach Prime has talked him up a lot ever since he showed up during spring or before spring football. He's got the size and the length to be, that prototypical toolsy cornerback. Played a lot as a true freshman last year at OK State and was going to be a big piece of their secondary. Is already starting. I think his emergence is definitely one of the reasons why Travis is being moved into the slot is because they feel comfortable with him and Hodge on the outside. It's going to be a big year for him.
I like it. I mean, he has a huge opportunity. And opportunity has really kind of been a big motivator for my picks. And it will remain a big motivator. I'm going to go Dallin Hayden.
Nice.
Yeah, I just think he would be my favorite to, he'd be my favorite to be the lead back. Of course, Micah and Charlie are going to present some stiff competition. He is, just such a complete back. We really broke him down yesterday. I think he could really thrive as an outside runner in this offense with as much emphasis that opposing defenses will have to put on, the passing game. I think Hayden's going to be a real weapon to take advantage of that space in the box. And, as you were saying, you watch the film and there's just a couple plays that could have gone big if he just misses that one last tackle. I think that could happen, and the breakout could be very real for him.
Love it.
This year. Yeah. And then my next pick is Cam Michael, baby. Cam Michael.
Michael, we've learned.
Michael.
Yeah, groundbreaking, I know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All off season.
I know. The recruiting services had it wrong.
What?
Shocker. Yeah, shocker.
They're such experts.
No, he went in front of the team when they had everyone show back up last week and said his name, Cam Michael.
Dang.
Yep.
Well, Cam, I'm a huge fan. I think he's so underrated. That speed is just unreal. It's going to play in a ton of different positions. I just think he's going to be such a factor. He's so athletic. He has such great size with that speed. It's going to be impossible to not keep him on the field and not make him a key to this team one way or another, whether it's as a returner, running back, wide receiver, in the secondary.
Yep.
I'm just, I think he's going to be one of the best freshmen in the country.
Love that. All right, now it's getting dicey. We probably could have literally done like 8 rounds of this.
Easy peasy. Very easily could have done
That's a nice pick, though.
many rounds. Thank you.
Oh, man. So I already have a wide receiver and I already have a cornerback. But that's just where my mind is for some reason.
I know, but the competition's also stiff there,
It is.
I've kind of stayed away from wide receiver specifically because of that.
And I think I'm going to stay away from wide receiver here and stick with defensive back. And I'm going to go Colton Hood.
Wow.
Because I do think we have a strong top 3 at cornerback with Hunter, Hodge, and McKinney. And we saw last year, they were trying to figure out a lot last year. They battled through injuries in the secondary, obviously. But I feel like the rotation at cornerback it moves faster than the rotation at wide receiver. At wide receiver, we've got, we're already like 8 deep at wide receiver. And Shador, like that chemistry and familiarity means a lot to him. And so I think it's going to be a lot of Will Shepherd, a lot of LeJontay, a lot of Travis, a lot of Omari, and a lot of Jimmy. Like that's your top 5, really.
Yeah.
But give me Colton Hood, a guy who
That's a good one.
was going to be a factor in an SEC secondary this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Before he entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean, and just checks off all those boxes, right? Like,
Yep.
just looks the part, plays the part.
Well, and another guy, I believe, let me look it up to make sure. I think he was highly touted as a recruit as well. Only a 3-star, actually, but he's one of Pastor's kids. Oh, he was a 247 Sports 4-star. So I just think that it could all line up for him. Played a little bit as a true freshman last year. Balled out in the spring for them. It's going to translate in Colorado.
I like it.
Oh,
You've
I go
got
again
one
here.
more to close it out.
I close it out.
So many great options.
Too many almost.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna call my shot here a bit.
Let's do it.
Give me Nikhil Webb-Walker, the former New Mexico State edge, who's coming in at 6'6", 275.
Whew.
He balled out in the spring game, and he's got the tools to become a really, really good football player. He's from Jamaica. I think he's very, very green in terms of his football career. And he's just starting to figure it out. And now he's going to get coached by Warren Sapp, Damian Lewis, Vincent Dancy, Robert Livingston, all this NFL talent around him, or NFL coaching talent around him. And it's just the perfect situation for a guy like this who's really kind of learning the game still.
Wow.
Spider-Man, as we call him.
Edge, huh?
Edge rusher, yeah.
Not off ball.
Not off ball.
The old Toyota chat's really hyped on your last two picks. Give me Sam Hart. The Colorado kid and former Buckeyes 4-star tight end recruit coming back home. Obviously, we saw how big that tight end position ended up being when the offense was truly performing at its best last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think Sam Hart would be my favorite to take care of business in that sense. And, calling my shot here. I think he could easily have 5+ touchdowns and be kind of a key weapon over the middle for Shadur and the passing attack.
I thought about picking Savell Smalls. I think if I saw a little bit more from him in the spring game, I would have jumped on that. But you look at guys like Sam Hart and where he's coming from, his recruiting pedigree, and honestly, the fact that he just sat behind Cade Stover forever because he was like a 6-year player.
Right. I
like that.
It's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, I thought of maybe just going back-to-back freshmen and going Draylon Miller, maybe my guy Augustave. Obviously, Micah felt like a great candidate. Mm-hmm. Omarion was there for the taking. I just think there's so much depth at wide receiver.
Yep.
And, my boy Finiseth would have probably been a bad pick. But
I mean, he's finally healthy, though. He's going to get on the field. Special teams, at least.
Don't tease me.
The chat mentioned Ray and Beal a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one, but also this is like an older player who was like all MAC. You know what I mean? Like
right. His breakout's like he's an All-American candidate.
Right. Exactly.
And there's just so much depth at that edge room. That's another room like wide receiver. It's a little harder to really put your stamp on it.
Not taking Omari Miller is probably a mistake in some way.
Yeah, I think so. He was high on my list. He was kind of like the next guy on all my picks. I considered Omarion, but I opted for the other. Yeah.
Sam Okunlola, another guy. Charlie Offerdahl, as the chat said.
Yeah, Okunlola's similar to Buell, though.
We kind of already talked about him. He'd have to have an outrageous season to truly break out. Cordell Russell, I thought about C5.
Mm-hmm. And we stood a little younger,
And like newer guys who have come in.
I mean, TB, Tyler Brown, and Seaton, I think, were guys I had on my list.
Sure.
Who, Seaton starting every game, freshman All-American. Is that a breakout? I'd say so. First year of college football,
But when you're the number one tackle coming out of the class.
Expectations are high, but, like Cormani last year, it's not a given that the tip-top guy at his position's then actually going to be the guy.
D-Mill says, where's the love for the LBs? I don't think Nakai Hill-Green fits a breakout candidate list. I think he proved that he was a good player at Michigan. He definitely proved that at Charlotte last year. I think we know exactly what type of player we're getting. Of course, like he said, he just wants the stage to prove it.
Yeah, I don't know. And also how the linebacker unit performed last year. It's a lot of wait and see. I just thought there was more appeal to other positions than the linebackers.
Maybe Jeremiah
certainly
Brown.
There's opportunity there.
Yeah. Or Chainsaw, Johnny Chaney. Johnny Chaney or Jeremiah Brown would have been, I think, the pick set linebacker.
Right.
If you're going to pick someone. Alrighty, let's move on. And shout out to our friends at Circa Sportsbook. Circa the absolute GOAT, by the way.
Oh,
We are, less than a month, and we are basically going to be on our way back to Vegas.
unreal.
Yeah. Alyssa, are you ready?
Yeah.
Reluctantly?
Yeah, reluctantly ready.
It's gonna be so hot.
It's going to be hotter than hell out there.
Yeah, it's getting hot here, man.
But you can avoid the heat. Stay in Colorado. Bet with Circa Sportsbook Colorado.
That's true. It's a great point, Jake.
They do still handcraft their lines. You're going to get a little bit more juice on those plus money odds. You might get a half point or so in your favor on the spreads. But check them out. Download the app at circasports.com. Circa Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado. You must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org. And then True Fan Travel.
Yeah.
They're going to help us out, sending a bunch of people out to Lincoln.
Lincoln, baby. Yeah, it's like the best deal for that game day in Lincoln right
Yep.
now. It's being offered through us. It's pretty crazy.
You've seen a game in Lincoln?
I have. All-timer, man.
Can you...
Such a true college football town. You get there the night before, you stop at the restaurant, everyone's decked out in Nebraska gear. The restaurant has like a Tom Osborne painting by the cash register. You can feel it. It's what people are dialed in on. You're tailgating. The teams do the walkthrough thing. I mean, the atmosphere is awesome. Downtown Lincoln becomes like the most poppin' place in the entire state of Nebraska on game days. And then the stadium itself, like the game day atmosphere is really cool. I've been in the away stands. And, you know, there's just like a lot of interaction. The Nebraska fans are doing shit after just about every play. Any good defensive play, they like to do their dumb crossbows thing. It was just an all-time experience, man. I watched Ohio State with rookie or freshman Braxton Miller at quarterback, and they were up like 21, and then Nebraska came back. It's the biggest comeback in Nebraska football history. Levante David had like a fumble 6 to seal that. It was a crazy game.
Well, you can join us on the road this year to Lincoln.
Do it.
TCU was insane last year. They helped us. True Fan Travel helped us out with that one. They're helping us out with this one. The Broncos are headed to Tampa also. If you want to head to Florida in, September? Late September? Head on over to truefantravel.com/trips to book your spot today. Be on the lookout for more road trips brought to you by True Fan Travel. Sign-ups for these road trips are live while spots last. Get in there now.
Nice.
Okay, just a few things, little housekeeping stuff. Recruiting update, because we haven't really done one in a while.
Right.
We'll start with Jaden O'Neal. Has been visiting Colorado this week. 2026 4-star quarterback. Of course, quarterback, the big conversation in terms of recruiting for this team. Juju, obviously, but trying to find the heir to Shador. Steve Wiltfong spoke to Jaden O'Neal. We've got a few quotes here on his visit. He said, Colorado's going amazing. One big takeaway is Coach Dion is old school coach who takes a lot of pride in character and integrity with the players he recruits. I'm loving the coaching staff and how experienced they are with their NFL experience. It truly draws my eye to this school. So there you go. Good start for the 2026 kid. Trajan Odom. We've talked about him a few times. The big edge rusher. Our defensive lineman, sorry.
From where?
Out of Matthews, North Carolina. Top
Nice.
300 player, 4-star recruit. 6'4", 285. Put out a top 6. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, USC, UCLA, and Colorado.
Nice.
We also got a top 10 from I believe his name is Heze Kent, Heze. That sounds like Heze to me.
Yeah, I'm no RK, so I'll agree with you on that one.
Thank you. Heze Kent is a 2026 4-star tight end out of Brunswick, Georgia. Top 150 player. Big boy, 6'5", 250.
Oh, I like this kid.
Florida State, Georgia, Kentucky, Miami, Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas, USC, and Colorado
Wow.
in his top 10.
Wow. Mad pedigree. Nothing but big schools.
Yep. And then we had a few camps this last week at CU.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, so they're giving a lot of guys, kind of like last year they did this. They're giving a lot of guys from all over the country, from Colorado, all different ages. They're throwing on youth camps this summer too. But they're just giving a lot of kids and players a chance to check out CU, see what it's about, get some coaching. Of course, get to meet Coach Prime and a lot of these coaches. But with this first one on the 4th, it just sounds like we've got some positive momentum coming out of there. There's some players that have caught their eye. We'll see if we end up getting offers and some new additions to the roster. But yesterday, we had, I don't want to call it a youth camp. It's like I'm trying to find the name for it, but
A local camp?
Yeah, and it's kids grade 9 through 12.
Yeah.
So a lot of recruits in this upcoming class. Elite camp is what they called it. And some guys who have stood out. The first being a guy who has visited Colorado a lot. And that is Jeremiah Hoffman. He's a 2025 3-star wide receiver out of Severance, Colorado. He put out a tweet on Twitter yesterday. Said, picked out by Deion Sanders as the top three at camp. Been the top wide receiver at camp. Every camp I've gone to, no filming was allowed, but you already know.
Love that kid.
But they've shown a recent trend in going and trying to recruit Colorado kids.
Yeah, I think now they're able to take a little more time and be a little more methodical in their evaluation, start looking more, not just the 6 months out, 12 months out, but, 2, 3, 4 years out, and starting to lay that groundwork, and starting to... I mean, obviously, there's plenty of Colorado kids on this roster, guys like Charlie, who've just been huge for this program, and I think there are other kids like that out there. So I'm really excited about what could come. And I mean, a kid like that, 3-star kid, small town Colorado.
And I'm telling you, he's visited like 5 times.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, if you're a 3-star kid in that small town Colorado, you're probably more like a 4-star.
Right.
Objectively, your talent is probably playing up, but because of the level of competition, the services can't give you that bump. There might be some inherited gems, I mean, we've seen it with the Buffs program before. Guys like Nate Solder and what have you. I mean, Shadobia Awuzie and the great wide receivers they had when Lufau was there. Guys like Phil Lindsay. There's just a ton of examples of underrated Colorado kids who then became like real deal NFLers.
Landon Wolney is a 2027 tight end out of Naples, Florida. He actually went to this camp and earned an offer. Who else? I thought I had one more name. Oh, I do have one more name. Jack Offerdahl, Charlie's younger brother. He went to camp.
Not bad.
He's a 2026 kid, plays free safety, strong safety, kick returner. And I believe he's also at Dakota Ridge, where Charlie went, I think.
Yeah,
Trying to
that
double
would
check
make
that.
sense. And they're a real powerhouse locally.
Yeah, it says yeah, he's Dakota Ridge. He put out a tweet yesterday, said, thank you, Coach Flea, for selecting me as a top 5 DB at the CU Elite Camp yesterday. Got better and loved the competition. He's obviously got a connect already. He's been in the locker room and stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see this kid in the black and gold or get a commitment from him in about a year or so.
Very interesting.
There you go. Let's get to questions and let's get out of here.
Yeah,
Hit the
let's
like
do it,
button.
brother.
We are light today.
Oh boy, what are you
I know-
doing to me, guys?
I know
Come
it's
on.
off-season mode, guys, but at least give us a like.
Yeah, please help us out. I really
Help
need
Dre
it.
out.
If not, I'm gonna hear about it. So please, please, please leave me a like. I'd really appreciate it.
Ron asked, where's Buell at DL and McNeil? McNeil would be a good one. Amari McNeil in terms of breakout guys.
Yeah, I thought about Amari for sure.
Probably one of the better, if not the best defensive lineman we had last year, really. Comes in from Tennessee, and I think he was a late addition around, not this time, but a few months before this time last year.
Honestly, the returning front seven guys, I didn't feel like super great about any of them. You know, I thought about Jeremiah Brown, for example. I thought about McNeil. It's just, I don't know. I gotta see how the two deep really plays itself out with all the new guys. You know, I kind of, you know, it's human nature, but I think the new guys might be better.
I mean, I think it's going to be hard to start over Chidoze or Torian Carter on the defensive line this year.
Yeah,
Or Rayum Beal, too. That's another older guy. So you already got 3 older guys.
100%.
Who
And
are
then all
coming
the
in.
depth you have at, you know, pure edge.
Right.
Tough.
And the bigger edges we have, like Quincy Wiggins, like Nikhil Webb-Walker,
Right.
like
Right.
McNeil would have been a good one, though. He's going to be in that rotation for sure. Bro, I know every school does camps. Come on. We're reporting on the Colorado camps.
Yeah, obviously every school does camps.
East
Duh.
Coast Kev with the super chat. The mustache is giving Donnie Brasco my favorite movie. Never seen it, actually.
I don't think I have either.
Isn't that like a gangster movie?
Yeah, it is. It is. We'll have to look that up, see how similar you actually look.
Oh, it's an FBI undercover agent movie.
Get it straight, Jake.
I've gotten it straight. Shout out East Coast Kev with the super chats today.
Yeah, thank you, East Coast.
It says the camps are a smart move by Prime. That'll also kill the theory of Prime not recruiting high school kids. Definitely, man.
Yeah. Also, like, first off, bring people in Boulder. Like, can't go wrong with that. Show them the facilities. Get them to talk to the staff. Like, all that's going to be a huge plus for you no matter what. So,
No doubt.
yeah.
I think we have one more from East Coast Kev. Wait, Charlie O's brother is Jack Offerdahl. Oh, Lord.
boy.
Oh,
East
Lord.
Coast, Kev. A super chat for that one? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Great way to end a Friday show, honestly.
Thanks for helping out this week, brother.
My pleasure. Always.
Crushed it.
Let's go.
We do need to do a 3-man show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got to make that
Yep.
happen.
You tell me when, we'll make it work. I need Alyssa for most of my meetings, so I'm actually pretty free in this time slot
Okay.
because she's
Right.
busy doing this.
Obviously.
So, yeah. So we could join up.
We'll work it out. We've got some cool stuff coming up, though.
I'm excited.
Some shows with people in the building, people who will be visiting the building this upcoming summer.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we might have to make a trip up to Boulder here soon for a really cool show. So can't wait. Stay
Don't
tuned.
tease me.
RK will be back on Monday. We'll be live from the Breck farmhouse, the Breck campus
Beautiful.
on Monday. Cannot wait. Hyped to go back.
Such a great time.
We'll see you guys then. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.